Welcome to 365 English. Listen to stories easily. We help you learn English happily through various stories. The speed is slow and the pronunciation is clear. The more you listen, the more you will enjoy it. If you like it, please like it, leave a message to chat, and don't forget to subscribe. From saving money to investing, the starting point of wealth thinking. Part 1. Origin, the germination and awakening of investment and money-making thinking. Before humans used currency, the concept of wealth had only one way to express it: exchange. Exchange a bundle of wheat for a handful of salt. Exchange a cow for a few bags of grain. This is the earliest barter, where wealth flows and is defined in exchange. In the era without piggy banks, wealth is measured by eyes and moved by hands. People measure not interest but the value of physical objects. Every transaction is a game of resources and trust. Until the emergence of metal currency, wealth finally had the possibility of volume compression. Copper coins, silver coins, and gold coins replaced livestock and grains, and wealth became hidden for the first time. The currency of ancient China, cloth coins, knife coins, and shell coins, is essentially to make wealth easier to circulate and easier to store. But the real savings concept in Chinese history comes from the traditional culture of thrift to cultivate virtue. Live within your means, prepare for a rainy day, be prepared for danger in times of peace, these wisdoms of our ancestors. Let the Chinese people understand early on: only when you have enough can you have confidence, and only when you save can you have freedom. In feudal society, wealth was mostly concentrated in the hands of landlords and merchants. And the wealth view of ordinary people was often saving money for the new year and storing grain to prevent famine. They did not seek growth but only to avoid starvation. This was the early wealth conservatism. But in the West, wealth took another path: growth. In Europe and the United States at the end of the 19th century, with the advent of the Industrial Revolution, the working class received the first batch of wages, but found that saving money could not keep up with the rising prices. As a result, banks emerged and stock markets appeared, and wealth was no longer just saved, but moved. In the early 20th century, Americans began to participate in stock investment on a large scale for the first time. "Let money work for you" became the mantra of the new generation. It was an era of expanding dreams and a hotbed for bubbles. In 1929, Wall Street collapsed, and countless people went bankrupt overnight. Investment from heaven to hell. It is precisely in this bloody price that a rational and cautious investment thought was born. The core representative of this thought is Benjamin Graham. He is not a market advocate but a gatekeeper of risk. His philosophy is simple: buy cheap companies as rationally as buying discounted goods. This is the theoretical prototype of what was later called value investment. Graham's book, The Intelligent Investor, has become the investment Bible for countless scholars and ordinary people. Among his students, there is a person who will change the investment world in the future: Warren Buffett. The core of this concept is not hype, not gambling, but don't lose before making money. This revolution in thinking started from Wall Street, but it affected the whole world. Money is not just for spending, it can also be your most loyal employee. This seemingly simple concept has gradually been accepted by the global middle class and has become the starting point of financial management. But reality is always complicated. In 2008, the financial crisis once again exposed the danger of investment illusion. Several major banks in the United States collapsed, global stock markets plummeted, and the subprime mortgage crisis spread like a virus. Ordinary people realized that investment is not omnipotent, and blindness is the real enemy. It was also after this disaster that countries around the world began to rethink: financial education. Instead of waiting for people to fail and then remediate, they began to popularize money awareness from children. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) included financial literacy in the PISA student assessment for the first time. They proposed a simple but profound goal: let everyone know how to manage their own finances. This global education wave quickly spread to countries such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America. No longer just teaching mathematics, but how to understand the pay slip. No longer just teaching Chinese, but teaching how to plan spending and savings. This is a gentle but thorough revision of the past education system. And China's wealth thinking enlightenment is a unique and magnificent story. In 1990, the Shenzhen and Shanghai stock exchanges were established successively. That year, Chinese people heard the word stock market for the first time. Some people used their savings of 10 years to buy their first stock. Some people became rich overnight, while others lost everything. It was a simple and chaotic era, with opaque information and imperfect supervision, but full of opportunities. From unit fundraising shares to state-owned enterprise reform, and then to stock market universalization. Countless people realized for the first time that in addition to wages, they can also make money with money. After 2000, the internet wave swept in and changed the way young people manage their finances. Traditional banks are no longer the only financial management tools, and Alipay, WeChat, and online loan platforms have emerged. In 2013, Yuebao came out of nowhere, and the 7-day annualized interest rate once exceeded 6%. For a time, making money while lying down became a new topic for young people after dinner. It was during this stage that investment thinking quietly became popular. Even though many people do not understand K-line charts, they have begun to think, how should I allocate my funds? The post-90s and post-00s are no longer satisfied with piggy banks and fixed deposits. They want to invest in funds, financial products, and even try digital currencies. This is a change in thinking and a revolution in habits. Imagine a Chinese youth born in 1995. When he was a child, he used a piggy bank to save new year's money. The first thing he bought was not a toy but a stamp. After the college entrance examination, he entered university and started working part-time and keeping accounts. When he was a junior, he attended a financial lecture and opened the door to the world of compound interest. He learned budget management from the campus financial management app, used his first internship salary to open a securities account, and carefully bought the first ETF. After graduation, he did not blindly make money, but prioritized the establishment of emergency reserves and insurance. 10 years later, he no longer worried about his livelihood, but began to plan the path to wealth freedom. This is not a special case, but a microcosm of thousands of ordinary Chinese youth. They are not rich but have a better sense of direction for money than the previous generation. They understand that real investment is not about chasing trends, but about managing life. Today, in 2025, Ontario, Canada announced that high school students must pass a financial literacy test to graduate. This reality reminds us again that financial education is not a choice for the future, but a compulsory course for the present. So back to yourself, when did you start to have wealth thinking? Was it the first New Year's money you saved when you were a child? Was it an investment book you read in college? Or did you find out one day that you can never keep up with housing prices by relying on wages alone? This is our common starting point for wealth. The piggy bank is the entrance, the investment account is the turning point. What really changes your destiny is your understanding and belief in money. From saving money to investing, the starting point of wealth thinking, II. Saving money is the first step for many of us to get in touch with money. In the old days, especially in China, saving was a simple and solid view of wealth. Live frugally, live a steady stream, live within your means. These words were once the financial management creeds passed down from generation to generation in countless families. The older generation used to hide money under the bed, in the cracks of bricks, and in passbooks, and saved it for decades. Savings represent security and stability, and are also a preparation for future uncertainties. But times are changing. Savings alone are difficult to outperform inflation, let alone bring about real wealth growth. In the United States in the early 20th century, the idea that money is enough to keep in the bank was also popular. However, the development of the financial market gradually changed this perception. Stocks, bonds, funds, real estate, these emerging asset classes began to enter the public eye. Especially after 1929, the United States experienced a devastating stock market crash. Countless people lost their fortunes. This crisis exposed the lack of financial knowledge and forced society to rethink how to manage and grow wealth. It was against this background that a young financial scholar, Benjamin Graham, stepped onto the stage of history. He proposed the concept of value investment, not chasing hot spots, but looking for undervalued high-quality assets. He believes that investment is not speculation and should be based on rationality and safety margin. This concept was later carried forward by his student Warren Buffett. Buffett once said, "If you don't let money work for you, you will always work for money." This sentence profoundly reveals the essential change from saving money to investing. Investment is no longer just the patent of the rich, but a survival skill that ordinary people can also master. So how did this change happen in China? After the reform and opening up, China's economy developed rapidly, people's income increased, and the savings rate once ranked first in the world. But with the opening of China's stock market in the early 1990s, people heard the word stock speculation for the first time. Initially, people entered the market with a speculative mentality. Many people were educated in the stock market crash and gradually realized that investment is not gambling. At the same time, China is also trying to popularize basic financial knowledge. After 2010, the internet finance wave came surging. Alipay, WeChat Pay, Yuebao, and P2P platforms have made investment sync to ordinary people's mobile phones. You don't need to understand K-line charts. You can also make profits through mobile financial management and fund fixed investment. The threshold for investment has been continuously lowered, and the transparency of information has gradually increased. But at the same time, a new question has emerged. Do we really understand investment? From the subprime mortgage bubble of the 2008 financial crisis to the recent plunge of virtual currencies, countless people have been attracted by the temptation of high returns, but have ignored risk education. The OECD pointed out in the Financial Literacy Test report. In most countries, young people's financial management level is far lower than that of adults. This means that although the concept of investment has been popularized, wealth thinking is still a deep cognitive topic. Wealth thinking is not just what to buy to increase quickly, but how to achieve long-term compound growth under risk control. In China, more and more young people are beginning to pay attention to financial education. There are a lot of discussions about funds, insurance, ETFs, and tax optimization on Xiaohongshu, Bilibili, and Zhihu. Financial intelligence is no longer a term for the elite circle, but an everyday topic that ordinary people are willing to participate in. For example, some young people have begun to manage their lives through bookkeeping, asset allocation table, and automatic transfer investment plan. Some people even started simulating stock trading in their teens to exercise their judgment and patience through practice. All this shows that China is in a stage of awakening to wealth thinking. This awakening is not overnight, but comes from the pressure of the times. Just like after the 2008 financial crisis, the OECD officially included financial literacy in the PISA International Student Assessment System. The focus of education has begun to shift, not only learning mathematics and Chinese, but also learning how to manage money. In 2024, Ontario, Canada stipulates that all high school students must pass a financial literacy test before graduation. Financial education is changing from a personal choice to a national policy. China is no exception, and more schools are offering financial enlightenment courses. Some kindergartens even use piggy bank games to teach children to understand money and learn to delay gratification. The enlightenment of wealth thinking is starting from counting change to asset structure management. Of course, everyone's wealth starting point is different and the rhythm is different. But the key is whether you realize that saving money alone can no longer cope with an uncertain future. Investing is not gambling, but through learning and cognition, your money has a better destination. The future world is no longer a financial game for the rich, but people who understand finance have money. So every ordinary person should ask themselves, is my current asset depreciating or helping me make money? This has quietly determined what your life will look like in 5 or 10 years. It took thousands of years for the human concept of wealth to go from hiding to using. Today, we may only need to take a small step, open an index fund, read an investment book, or start with a budget plan. Wealth thinking is not unattainable, but is accumulated slowly from every current choice. And when you really take this step, you will find that the world is really different. Money is no longer just earned, but also managed. Wealth is no longer just a number, but a reward for your understanding of the world. So next time you hesitate whether to spend money or save money, you might as well ask one more question. Do I have a better choice? From saving money to investing, the starting point of wealth thinking, part 3. True wealth thinking is not only about knowing investment, but also learning to act. Many people say, I know that investment is important, but I don't know where to start. In fact, it is not difficult to start, but the difficult part is to change the inertia of relying on income to support life. The turning point of wealth is never a sudden jump, but the accumulation of subtle cognition. For example, if you earn 5,000 yuan a month and spend 4,990 yuan a month, no matter how high your income is, you will not accumulate. On the contrary, if you earn 5,000 yuan a month, you can save 1,000 yuan a month and invest this 1,000 yuan reasonably, and the difference will be huge after 5 years. Therefore, it is not the people who earn more who are the richest, but the people who make money smarter who are ahead faster. So how can ordinary people move from only saving money to wealth growth? The first thing, understand your financial status. Many people can't even tell how much they spend in a month, how much they have left, and what expenditure items they have. Financial clarity is the first step in wealth planning. Open the accounting software, or use Excel to sort out your income and expenditure for the past 3 months. You will find that some money can actually be saved, and some money is spent worthlessly. This process, like looking in the mirror, allows you to face your money habits. The second thing, establish a basic financial security system. Don't rush to invest in stocks or funds. Ask yourself first, if you suddenly lose your job, how many months can you live? It is generally recommended to prepare at least 3 to 6 months of emergency reserves and put them in a liquid and risk-free place. This money is not used to make money, but to prevent having to sell assets because of no money. The third thing, set financial goals and act in stages. The goal can be down payment for a new house after 3 years, annualized income of 6% after 5 years, passive income to cover daily expenses before the age of 35. Each goal is inferred from the preparations you need to make now, how much to save each month, and what type of assets to allocate. At this time, you really enter the asset allocation stage from saving money. Asset allocation is to divide your money into several task forces, each with its own duties. Some money is placed in the bank for safety. Some money is invested in funds to outperform inflation. Some money is used to buy insurance to prevent accidents. The standard asset allocation chart of an ordinary office worker may be as follows. 40% liquid assets, emergency fund plus short-term expenses. 30% stable investment, bond funds, money market funds. 20% growth investment, stocks, index funds. 10% protection products, insurance, serious illness, accidents, medical care, etc. This ratio is not fixed, but is dynamically adjusted according to the stage of life. When you are young, you can be aggressive and take more risks. When you are older, you must be stable and keep your existing assets. However, the road to wealth will not be smooth sailing. A sudden stock market crash may make people discouraged. Buying the wrong P2P and being tempted by high returns may cause years of savings to go down the drain. Therefore, more important than knowing investment is understanding risks. Behind all high-yield investments are high risks. Real wealth growers all follow a principle: protect the principal first, then seek profit. There is a young man named Li Ran, who was born in Nanjing in 1992. When he was a child, his grandmother gave him a porcelain piggy bank, and he put all the New Year's money given by relatives into it during the Chinese New Year. When he went to college, he learned to use Alipay Yuebao and watched his income grow little by little every day. After graduation and work, he invested in the Shanghai and Shenzhen 300 index fund on a monthly basis, regardless of market ups and downs. By the age of 30, his investment account exceeded 1 million. He is not a businessman, nor has he won a big prize, but he has turned time and rules into wealth. He often said, "I am not smart, I just started as early as possible." There are more and more people like Li Ran in China. They do not speculate in the short term, do not chase hot stocks, and do not listen to hearsay, but use the simplest way to get the most real returns. Wealth thinking is not to chase the wind, but to recognize the essence. All assets are essentially divided into two types: one that makes money for you and one that consumes your money. Investment is to slowly increase the proportion of the former and reduce the proportion of the latter. Every piece of clothing you buy, is it to improve your self-image or is it an impulse? Every penny you spend, is it to buy assets or to buy liabilities? These questions determine whether your assets are truly growing. In the new era, more and more ordinary people understand asset thinking. Some people buy ETFs, some open up their side jobs, and some study tax optimization. Sleeping income, passive cash flow, and financial freedom have become keywords frequently mentioned by young people. This is no longer an unattainable dream, but a practical path. Imagine if you spend 1 hour a month to learn a little about investment knowledge. After a year, you know more and make more money than 90% of people. The growth of wealth has never relied on luck, but on daily cognitive upgrades and self-disciplined actions. At present, in 2025, the world is paying attention to financial education. Not only Canada, but also countries like Singapore, Finland, and Germany have already incorporated financial education into the national education system. China is also accelerating the construction of financial courses, popularizing the meaning of money from elementary school. The future competition is no longer who has a higher education, but who can manage resources and control money. So you also have to ask yourself, is my income structure healthy? Are assets growing? Are there any dead ends of money that are not making money? If you have realized this problem, then you are not far from change. Start taking action, starting with a small account, a financial book, a lecture, and a budget sheet. Investing does not require you to become a master all at once. It requires you to accumulate small amounts again and again, gradually breaking the old concept of only work can bring income. Wealth has never belonged to the rich, it belongs to those who are willing to learn. The last question is still the question that appeared in the short video. Where did your wealth thinking start? Is it the shabby piggy bank? Is it the first few cents received from Alipay? Is it the first dividend on the investment account? No matter what the answer is, as long as you begin to realize the importance of wealth, change has already happened. The starting point of wealth thinking is not a distant financial term, but the awakening moment in everyone's heart. And when you go from running for money to let money work for you, life will quietly turn. So now put down your anxiety, pick up a pen, open the app and take your first real step. Because the future belongs to those who wake up early. You did a great job today. Thank you for watching 365 English. Don't forget to like, leave a message and comment. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.